See, I believe that every single day we need to do a couple different things. We need to manage our mindset. We need to evaluate our emotions, okay? And we need to then think about what we think about, all right? All day long, I want to be self-aware of what am I thinking about? Your thinking ultimately creates your belief systems, friends. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Champion Life Podcast. I'm your host, Curt Tucker. And today, friends, we are going to talk about daily disciplines create everyday victory. I want you to think about that for a second. Where do you want to win more at in your life? See, I believe that championship teams, they just always find a way to win. If you ever notice that, if you think about the best teams, whether it's in football with the Patriots or now the Chiefs, or in baseball or in basketball or whatever sport it is that you love to watch in your team, you begin to start seeing a common thread between teams that win consistently or people that win consistently and people that don't. And so today, friends, I want to talk to you a little bit about how can we together help each other win. See, I believe that we need people in our corner. We need people that are rooting for us. We need to know that there is another level of life out there that's available, but we also need to know what is working and what is not. See, I'm a believer in evaluation. I'm a believer in that, there's a reason why in the NFL, for instance, they take a halftime, right? Same thing in basketball. There's a halftime, the ability every single day, to take a halftime in your day to say, what's winning, what's working, what's not, so I can reevaluate. So in this episode, this is going to be all about some of the daily disciplines that I personally have seen from my own self-work, but more importantly, that I've saw in other people's lives. Because this isn't about me, this is about you. This is about you looking at your life and how do we go from where you're at, and maybe you're winning in a couple areas, and that's awesome, that's incredible. And then in the other areas that maybe you're not, how can we begin to start positioning you to go next level in your life, in your marriage, in your business, in your fitness, or whatever. So I want to ask you this first question. What is one area of your life that right now you feel like, man, I am just absolutely crushing it? Think about that for a second, because here's what I believe is that success leaves clues. When we can begin to start thinking about and identifying the things that we're doing on a daily basis that's working for us, that's helping us win, we can then build upon that. So what is one area right now in your life that you feel like, man, I am absolutely crushing it? Is it in your fitness? Here we are in February. Man, this year is going by fast, isn't it, friends? It's already February. 1 month is done and gone. And so maybe you set a goal this year that you were going to take your fitness to the next level. You were going to get back to working out in the gym. You were going to get back to eating right and to having an abundance of energy. And you are doing that. You are absolutely making it happen right now. If you're doing that, I want to say, first of all, congratulations, because that's not an easy task. But maybe you're not. Maybe that's a goal that you're falling short on right now. I also want to encourage you, don't quit, don't give up. But let's begin to start looking at why you're winning or why you're not, because I believe that fitness is such an easy example. It's my background. For those of you who know me or know my story, my wife Rachel and I, we've been so blessed to help thousands of people in the area of health and fitness with our background in fitness, from owning gyms, from now owning a marketing and sales coaching company that works with gyms all across the country, where we help implement strategies and tactics to not only grow their gym, but to also serve more people, right? And so when I see success when it comes to fitness, I see a person that has a couple different common threads. Number one, they have a clear goal. Like they know what they want to accomplish. Maybe, it's a specific weight that they want to accomplish, a specific body fat, a specific goal of what they're getting ready for, right? Like they've got a daughter who's getting ready to get married, or there's a vacation coming up, or, for men, I just know that when you are fit, it just goes along with you having more energy for the day. All right. At 42, I think a lot different about fitness than when I did when I was in my early 20s, where it was all about just being fit and looking good and having a six pack and all that kind of good stuff. Now it's more about longevity. Now it's more about, I just want to have great energy throughout the day so that I can be my very best in every endeavor that I'm in, as a husband, as a father of four, as running multiple businesses and all those different things. And so what you'll find, though, is that not only will that person, if they reach a goal and then they take their body to the next level, have a clear goal, but they will have multiple reasons why it's important to them, right? Like they will know why it's a must that they get up early and they get to the gym early if they have a busy day. They will have a strong enough why when a friend says, hey, I can't make it to the gym today, they'll say, hey, no problem, but they still go. Or they'll go out and they'll make an investment and they'll hire a coach. They'll hire a trainer if for some reason they need that extra level of accountability, which I believe all of us do need, or maybe they just don't know exactly what to do. So they hire somebody that can teach them how to do it so they can fast track, right? But the point is that if it's a major goal, there then has to become the consistency. So they knew what they wanted. You knew what you wanted if you're having success, right? You probably had some reasons why it was important to you, but the major reason why you're having success, and if you're winning in the area of fitness, throughout the first month of this year, or really anything for that matter, is you've been consistent. You've probably been more consistent this year if you're winning in your fitness right now than you ever have been before, right? You're showing up to the gym 5 or 6 days a week. You're getting in those workouts. You're eating better. You're saying no to the things that you know you need to say no to, like excess alcohol and excess sugar and the bad carbohydrates like the breads and the pastas and all the things that, man, we love to eat. But we also know that it's hard to build a lean, strong body when you're consuming a lot of those different things. So I want you to think about this. Are you winning in your fitness? All right. I'm going to take fitness to another level with you, because you know how I believe in fitness is it's not just about your physical body, but it's about your mental mindset. Are you winning in your mindset right now? Are you winning in your emotional thoughts and where you're living? Are you living with negativity, or are you living in positivity? See, I believe that every single day we need to do a couple different things. We need to manage our mindset. We need to evaluate our emotions, okay? And we need to then think about what we think about, all right? All day long, I want to be self-aware of what am I thinking about? Your thinking ultimately creates your belief systems, friends, and your belief systems create your thinking. It's like this pattern that just keeps going every single day. And so your belief in yourself can be altered and changed by your thoughts. It's one of the reasons why I'm such a huge believer in my I am statements. It's one of those daily disciplines that I know that I need to do for myself every single day so that I can live in the Curt Tucker that I desire to be, not who I used to be. Early on in my journey of retraining my mind and my body and my spirit about myself, after I had so much failure in my life and so much guilt and so much shame. And I don't know if you can relate with that, friends, but I'm just sharing with you from life experience. And maybe you can relate with that. Maybe you've been through some things where you failed your family. You didn't get that promotion. You were struggling financially. You said some things to your wife or your spouse that you wish you could take back. You did some things that you wish you could take back, and you lived with guilt and shame. Or maybe it's something that you didn't even do. It's just something that happened to you. It wasn't even something that you chose. It just happened to you. No matter whether it's something that you did or it's something that happened to you, that unforgiveness, that bitterness, that resentment, that shame, that guilt, I believe it can destroy a person. It literally eats you from the inside out. Unforgiveness, man, that's just a topic that I love to talk on with people, because, unforgiveness is like, drinking poison and thinking that the other person is going to get sick. No, it's you. You're the one that's going to get sick. So even if somebody else did something to you, maybe your spouse did something to you. I see this destroy marriages all the time, where one spouse is just, they can't get over what their spouse did to them. And there's no way to create a new future, a new vision, if we're going to continue to live in the past. And so I want you to think about, maybe something that you've dealt with, in your mindset, something that you need to let go of today. Because once again, it's that daily discipline of forgiveness. It's that daily discipline of loving yourself. It's that daily discipline of your habits and your rituals that ultimately are going to create a life of victory. So if you're winning right now in your fitness, I'm sure if you're keeping track, you are looking at your life right now and you're saying, man, I'm showing up to the gym 5 or 6 days a week. Typically, I would eat this or drink that, and I haven't been doing that. Instead, I'm putting different things in my body, right? Holy cow, you're stepping on the scale once a week and you're seeing those numbers go down and that body fat percentage change, and you're seeing your physical body change in the mirror, which is giving you confidence that this is working, right? You probably had a couple people that have come up to you and said, man, I notice you. I see the changes that are happening, and that creates what? Affirmation. That's the reason why I believe it's so important who you hang around with. Are you hanging around people on a daily basis that are building into you, that are encouraging you, that are giving you those affirmations, right? I believe that we need that. We need people in our life who are going to speak into us. Proverbs 18:21 says that the tongue, there is the power of life and death in the tongue. And what we speak about ourselves on a daily basis, and what we speak about those ones that we love, the ones that are closest to us, our spouse, our kids, your clients, whatever, that has such power over your results that you want to accomplish. And so let's talk about a couple daily disciplines that I believe if you will begin to start implementing them into your life on a daily basis, you will begin to start seeing victory show up in your life. Okay, number one, the first thing, and I've talked about a lot of these different things, and I want to encourage you to tune in to my Train to Win in 10 series, by the way. That's going to be all over my social media. It's going to be all over this on YouTube, where I'm just going to each week break down one thing that I have begun to start implementing into my life over the last 10 or 15 years that has took me from, defeat to victory. Okay. And so here's just a couple things right off the bat that I believe that if you will begin to do these things, it can have great and massive impact over your life. And I already mentioned them, is think about what you think about. No different than how we do a financial budget or a financial audit, or we evaluate our time as an entrepreneur, where we need to know where we're spending our time. We need to think about what we think about. I believe that when we take time, and this is the reason why for me, I choose to do this every single morning in what I like to call my hour of power, where the first hour of my day is set aside for me. The phone is on airplane mode. There's no distractions. It's generally 5 something in the morning, where I'm able to spend time by myself with God, seeking wisdom and asking myself and asking Him, where do I need to change? What are the thoughts that are going through my head? What are the limiting beliefs that are holding me back from becoming the champion that God created me to be? That's why I love the Word of God, and I love to read the Word, because there's so many promises. So when I begin to start struggling with doubt, now I can go to the Word and I can say, no, all things are possible to those who believe. Jeremiah 17:7, blessed is Curt, who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in Him. So if I'm lacking confidence that day, I will speak that verse over my life. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Where does my confidence come from? My confidence comes from Christ. See, there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is, I got this. I can do this. How many of you know a person that's the way they are, right? And it may even be you sometimes. And you know what? That's okay. That's why you're listening into this podcast right now. That's why you're tuning into this, is because you want to get better, my friend. But sometimes it can be very easy, to just say, I got this. I can handle this. And many times that's isolation. What do lions do when they want to target their prey? They isolate them, right? They wait for them to get alone. They wait for them to get away from the rest of the herd, from the rest of the pack, and then they attack. See, I believe, friends, there's an enemy that wants to do that every single day. He's waiting for you to isolate yourself. He's waiting for you to not be on top of your mindset on a daily basis, to not think about what you think about, and just to kind of go throughout your day with no purpose, with no intention. And next thing you know, you begin to wander off and you begin to be alone, and boom. One of the things I say to addicts, to people who have struggled with addiction, is the quickest way to get back and find yourself back to that negative addiction that you used to have is one of two things. Either one, you hang out with the wrong people. Number two is you become bored. All right. You have too much time on your calendar, which leads to boredom, which then leads back to old vices. That's the reason why I need to stay disciplined daily, doing multiple things that fill my calendar to make me my very best. That's why I live in what I call my 4 quarters, and I'll break that down in another episode. But I want you to think about the daily discipline of thinking about what you think about, and then journaling it, writing down your thoughts. What are the constant thoughts that are circling through your head? Because here's what you're going to find, friend, is that before there is an emotion, there isn't a thought. There's a thought. So I'll give you an example, that if you feel any certain type of way, unforgiveness, bitterness, jealousy, fear, worry, doubt, those feelings, those emotions are always preceded by a thought. It's something that you're thinking that is causing you to feel fear. I used to deal with this at night when my kids would be out driving, and I would be so afraid to go to bed at night with my kids being out, and I wouldn't sleep well the first couple hours because I just knew they weren't home. And I was worried, is something going to happen to them? What if they get in an accident? I don't want to turn my phone off and go to bed because what if they need me? What if they call me? And I just was never getting a good night of sleep. And then finally, Proverbs 3:5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. I've got all these things going through my head where God's just saying, hey, do you trust me? And I remember God saying to me one time, hey, Curt, listen, before they were your son, before they were your daughter, they were mine. Okay. I got them. Do not worry. My wife says this all the time. If you're going to pray, then don't worry. If you're going to worry, then don't pray. I would much rather pray. And so God just said, don't worry about it, son. I got it. They were mine before they were yours. I got them. Put your phone on airplane mode, get a great night's sleep, and get ready to have an amazing day tomorrow. And you know what? Ever since that, years ago, by the way, when Rachel and I go to bed, we put our phone on airplane mode and I sleep like a baby and I'm not worried. Same thing goes for if I wake up in the middle of the night every once in a while and I've got something that I forgot maybe to do the previous day, or something I need to do the next day, or, it's something in business, or, something happens and there's a fear, there's a worry, there's a doubt, whatever. You know what I do, friends? It's a discipline that if I wake up, I just say, hey, Lord, you got this. I'm going back to bed. And I just go right back to sleep. There are no sleepless nights. And I'm so thankful and grateful for that, because that's something I struggle with for a long time. And so we've got to begin to start thinking about what we think about. It's said that we have about 70,000 thoughts every single day. And many times the majority of those thoughts are negative. Now, here's the really cool thing, friend, is you can 100% begin to start changing that. Now, sometimes you don't get to choose your first thought, right? But I like to say you always have control over your second thought. So when those thoughts of fear and worry and doubt and insecurity and whatever come into your mind, that's where you have to know the word of God and say, no, 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 no. Let me speak the truth over this situation. Let me speak the truth over my marriage. Let me speak the truth over my kids. Let me speak the truth over my business, my body, whatever it is. There is power in your words. Your life will follow the words that you speak. It will follow the thoughts. There's a saying that where the mind goes, the man follows. What is the mind? It's made up of these thoughts that we're continuously having every single day. So you want to choose your thoughts wisely. That's the reason why I am such a big proponent of the I am statements, where constantly I need to speak I am statements over my life. So when you begin to start thinking about the daily disciplines in your life that are going to lead you to victory, I want you to first begin to start thinking about some of the things that you might be doing right now that aren't leading you to victory. See, sometimes when we don't know what we should do, we can just look at certain areas of our life that we're not getting the result that we want in and say, well, what is it that I'm doing right now? And then all you have to do is do the exact opposite. If you're not where you want to be at physically, okay, if I came and I hung out with you for a day and I literally just woke up and I was there all day long, like a fly on the wall. I've had some people say this to me, like, Curt, I wish I could just like spend a day with you. By the way, I'm creating that experience this year where, people are going to be able to just come and spend a day with me, because I believe that we learn from others when we can spend time with them. If you're interested in that, send me a DM, Day with Curt, and I'll share with you more about what that experience is going to look like. But I remember, as I begin to start getting around other people and getting in their space and spending time with them, that there was just certain things that they did differently than I was doing. And that's the reason why I love to say success leaves clues. And so if you begin to start looking at a couple areas of your life and saying, hold on for a second, I don't really like the way this is going right now. I don't like where I am physically. I don't like where my business is at. I don't like where my marriage is at right now. You could begin to start identifying some of your daily disciplines, okay, and realizing why you're getting those results. My pastor Andy says this all the time. Sometimes when people will say they're not disciplined, that's not true. We are all disciplined. It's just, where are we disciplined at that matters. It's what are you doing on a daily basis that is getting you the results. And those disciplines can be good and those disciplines can be bad. If I wake up every single morning and I hit the snooze button 3 or 4 times and I immediately begin to start thinking about, negative things, and I go and I watch the news and I don't work out and I eat a donut, some orange juice for breakfast of just nothing but a bunch of sugar, and I'm in a hurry to get to work, right? And then I'm hanging around with people who are gossiping and talking negative, and I don't do anything for the first couple hours a day, but just conversate with my coworkers or whatever. Like, man, I'm setting myself up for failure, right? Versus if I have a daily discipline and a morning routine, which you guys know I talk a lot about, and you can watch another episode or you can read my book on that, where every single morning you're starting your day off with prayer and devotion and journaling and meditation and visualization and gratitude, where you're giving God thanks for all the things in your life. And then you're praying with your spouse. You're praying with your kids before they go to school. You're going and you're getting a workout in the morning, right? And you're reading 10 pages from a good book. You're starting off with a super shake for breakfast where you're flooding your body with a bunch of nutrition. That right there, friends, is going to set you up for success. And those are all things that you can have done within the first hour and a half of your day that will create win. What about in your business? Like I just said a second ago, Do you know what you want to accomplish? Do you have your goals written down every single day, where you have a vision and you have goals, and then you back those goals with a plan of execution of what you're going to do that day, of the critical, most important 2 or 3 things that are a must that you get done? Maybe it's a specific phone call that you need to make, or a meeting that you need to set up, or a skill that you need to learn. All those things, if you begin to work on those on a daily basis, at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, when you begin to start having results in this area, you look at it and you're like, how did things change? It changed by this, friend. It was one decision backed by action that you did consistently every single day. It's not rocket science. It's just the most successful people do the most important things, the daily disciplines that matter, every single day. And when they do those, they have what I like to call everyday victory. Every day is a choice. Every day is an opportunity. Every day is a gift for you to be able to go out and live what I like to call the champion life. It's a life of abundance. It's a life of freedom. It's a life of victory where you're winning. And yes, every single area. I believe that we can win in every single area of our life, our faith, our fitness, our family, our finances. And most important, we can have fun doing it. If you want a life of freedom, when you focus on those 5 things every single day, you will have a life of freedom. I want to end with this. I want to encourage you, take some time to write down and look at what are your daily disciplines. What are the things that you do consistently every single day? And ask yourself the question, are these disciplines, are these things that I'm doing every single morning, every single day in my career, my profession, and my business, every single evening when it comes time to family, are these setting me up to win? Or are these setting me up to fail? And I could go on and on and on about different examples, whether it's sleeping in, not working out, not maximizing your time at work, coming home and not bringing energy home. I was having a conversation with a guy the other day, and he said, hey man, well, I could hear the kids in the background and the wife and this. And I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh man, I just got home. And I go, hey, listen, man, we can talk later. Immediately, I cut the conversation off. Why? Because man, don't come home after a long day of business and work and be on the phone. Leave that phone in the car. Bring energy home, men, when you come home from the office and you're cranking all day long. That family of yours is the most important, not the client, not any of those things. So when you walk through that door, you want to be the hero. You want to be, hey, dad's home, right? Go in, give your wife a kiss, tell her you love her, give her a hug, thank her, say, hey, take a break for a little bit. I got the kids. Take those kiddos of yours outside, play ball, spend some time with them. Let them know that they are the most important thing in your life. Okay. It took me years to learn that lesson early on when our kids were young. And I'm so grateful and thankful that somebody taught me that lesson to bring energy home and make sure that they feel that they are the most important people in your life. Leave your phone in the car when you go to dinner with your spouse and you're doing that date night every single week so that you can connect, so that you can get time. Leave that phone of yours on airplane mode when you wake up in the morning to spend your hour of power with the Lord and working, and going through your devotion and your prayer and your journal and your meditation, your visualization and your I am statements and all those things, right? Think about what you think about, friends, and design a day with daily disciplines that are going to help you create everyday victory. There's things that if you'll let go of them and you'll stop doing and you'll replace them with things that you'll start doing that are going to lead you to a life of victory, of abundance, of freedom, and all those different things. It's what you do every day that matters, friends. And I want to encourage you, grab a copy of my book. I lay out so much of these things in my book. You can get it right now at my website, curtdtucker.com, for free. You just pay shipping right now, where I lay out the game plan to so many of these different things that we've talked about. And I know that if you begin to start implement these things, friends, your life, it'll go next level. That's what I want for you, by the way. You know, that is my mission. That is why I am doing what I'm doing. I firmly believe that my purpose is to love and encourage and empower people to become the champion leaders that God created them to be. I want to thank you for tuning in to this podcast with me today. I hope that this has encouraged you. I hope that this has inspired you to live in spirit and to begin to start living your life with purpose and implementing certain practical things, daily disciplines that can take your life, your marriage, your business to the next level. Hey, thank you so much for letting me spend some time with you today. I love you. Have an incredible day, champion, and we'll see you on the next episode. God bless.